Welcome back to another episode of Scrap Mechanic Labs. I am your Scout Flying Chief Engineer. This is my revised version, Scout. I don't know if you guys follow some of the older videos or if you're here to see the newer ones. I am having a blast, and I think that's where I want to land, right down there. So see if I could bring this thing in for a landing. Let's bring up the rear. Bring this up. And we're going to easy, nice and easy. Just drop this guy right in there. Boom. Alright. Yes, we are on the Compact Scout at the moment. Very nice vehicle to load on, to say another vehicle, because it's compact. I love the compactness of it. Pistons, or as I like to call them, hydraulic systems, have been working really well. This has led to the inspiration of a few other innovations. Some new technologies I'm going to talk about here. The main one is going to be a scalable vehicle system. That means a system integrated into a vehicle that will scale depending on your needs. For junkers and finding supplies and needing more space on the vehicle, this is going to be really, really cool. Another cool technology which I discovered applies to smaller vehicles, which work in conjunction with steering glitch, or as I like to call spring force steering. Something really neat I discovered happens with passive pistons. As long as there's a block attached to the end of it, something really cool you could do with passive pistons. So after these messages from our sponsor, me, Chief Engineer, will get back with you on these discoveries real soon. See you then. Alright, we are back. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is rotational dampeners. This was my test bed, and as you guys know, balance beam technology is what allows this vehicle to stay as stable as it does. If you guys are familiar with how a high wire act works, is a guy holds a long bar, and that bar helps him to keep from falling over. This pretty much does the same thing, but the update is you could do it with a lot less weight, because the hydraulic systems are very light in comparison to what I needed to use before. So you get more thrust, more stability, and less weight. So as you saw in the intro to the video, that made this vehicle really fun. And another great thing about it, it's compact. You can load it up into, say, a special utility vehicle like this one, which I'm going to talk about later after we go over inertial dampening systems. Not inertial, my mistake. If it was inertial dampening systems, when I take off, the bottom facing pistons would distend, but they don't. This is a rotational dampening system, and it works by just spinning your vehicle if it's small enough. Okay. Now I have better balance bar style stability controls. And all I had to do, like I said, was spin it to win it. So if a Comet was more difficult for you to fly before, and as you can see, the hydraulics automatically retract. So, and you notice it gets a little wilder. But if I wanted a little bit more stability, and I wasn't happy with my controls on this particular Comet, all I would do is add some passive pistons on there, passive hydraulics, and as soon as I got up high enough, you spin it out, and look at how solid. Balance bar technology kicks in, and it's a lot easier to control. I know there are other vehicles, other small vehicles that are much more controllable. I just think this thing is so much fun. So let's head back, and we're going to talk about the other vehicle, the scalable vehicle that I was talking about. Where are we? There we go. That's where I want to be, right over there. Much nicer. Beautiful. Alright. Compact Scout inertial dampeners. Here's a simpler version of the inertial dampening system. Works the same way. And then it just slowly goes back together again. So you can see there's nothing connected to them. They just, when you spin them, they just extract. Pretty neat. Alright. Basic premise of this vehicle is you can grab your cargo, get going where you need to. Very fast, very maneuverable. You can carry a lot of weight. If you've got issues with storage space, you just add more cargo room because you could expand the base of the vehicle. So let's say I found a huge supply of resources. Go back in here, check my systems. I'd make these pistons and I'd extend them even more, and then I would drag out some more floor here as I needed it, add on my supplies, cut down a tree from a nearby forest, grab more wood, and I could just keep expanding and keep loading this thing up until I'm 15 on each end, 15 out on each side. You get the idea. Very powerful, very useful to have a vehicle that scales depending on your needs. That was pretty much it. I know you guys get it. You guys get the idea. Let me show you the different modes of operation for the vehicle. Let's say right now it's in cargo mode. This is where I would attach a Comet, right here and here. So it would have two Comets. It would be in like reconnaissance mode, like this. But let's say you wanted to bed down, set a bit more into base mode. Just drop it down, open the gate, turn this into your house, start building your accoutrements or whatever you would like in here. Get rid of this. All of a sudden, you have a little base right here, ready to go. If all of a sudden a million farm bots come out of nowhere, okay, it's not a good idea to have this as a base. Bring it up, close the door, we're out of here. But it's pretty much a building platform also. So whatever you want to build on it, however big you need it to build, all you do is you go into the control center here, adjust it, our control center. Another thing is, as far as handling goes, when you're driving this thing around, if the end is wiggling around too much for you, all you do is extend the wheelbase. Now you've got a stability effect similar to balance bar stability, but in that it lengthened the vehicle, so it gives you a different type of stability. Now, if the lengthening stability isn't what you want, and you want another type of stability, I'm not even sure what to call it, with a wider wheelbase, a less flippy stability, you widen the wheelbase, you could shorten the vehicle, and that gives you another type of stability depending on your driving style. If you're going over extremely difficult terrain, you could extend your hydraulics, and it gives you a wider range of impact resistance. So I'll give you an example of this. as I go over really, really tough terrain, it handles it much better. Sometimes the wider wheelbase gives you more trouble, so you can always shrink it down. But if you need a vehicle that can handle just about anything, with the application of hydraulics in this way, you could deal with just about any situation. If you need to get through tight spots, if you need to get under things. I love this thing, and it can pull plenty of cargo, and it's scalable. So guys, you know what this means. I have a feeling survival is very close, because we're getting a lot of the tools we need to play the game we want. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna let the rest of the video run with some outtakes from stuff that I've done with friends. That's been super fun, super amazing. Hope you enjoy it. I was your host, Chief Engineer, signing off. This thing is so good.